Hello everybody and welcome, it's VeDAN here, so glad that you can tune into another video, and today I'm going to show you, it's less of a strategy video but more of how I got my 1 minute 30 run. So I'm currently 25th on the leaderboard, we've earned our bragging rights as we have beaten Punji. So to do this, for the four first strikes for tier 1, I IMF loan farmed hard, using Xarrot this time, okay? As you could see, maybe some of you guys would have noticed, I had a favour trades and 2 merchantmen down in conjunction with all of the submarines that we needed, okay? To do this, I ended up having to get 5 IMF farms, okay? So it was a really aggressive IMF loan farm. Do not worry about it if you're not going for a top time. You don't need to. Instead, you can do everything I do here, except tier 1, change it to a mob eliminator, okay? Get a mob eliminator, spam the ability, maybe get an alchemist with it or primary village or even a glue, and you will be absolutely fine, okay? So do not worry if you do not know how to do this. That being said, if I get any requests for it, I will absolutely do a tutorial video. So we went for Xarrot just so that I didn't need to buy so many submarines, and he's much better later on. So for round 60, I got 4, and then the plan was to use the Rejuve potion once, because you only need 8 first strikes to kill it, right? But sadly, I had to use 2 Rejuve potions just because I spammed them and didn't time them perfectly well. So a couple of them would have just been lost, basically. But I did this, and I don't care about spending an extra 2,000, right, if we just have to spam it. It's just a low-stress kind of strategy. I didn't want to have the most perfectly optimal strategy. I'm not interested in going for the top 3 on this boss in particular. Definitely not on solo mode. Maybe co-op mode. I've got enough knowledge to do it now. But I'm sure some people will push some incredible times, because if I did my tier 5 correctly, we could have been a lot closer to a 1 minute time. In fact, it took us pretty much how long it took us to do all the previous 4 bosses. It took us just as long to do tier 5, as you'll see. Okay, round 80. Subs again, I've got 14. Again, I've gone overkill just so I can absolutely spam it. You need about 30, okay? If you're wondering how to calculate that, it's a very easy calculation. 1 first strike does 30,000 damage. This has got 294,000 damage. That means that you're going to need 30, okay? Because obviously you can't have 29 because you'd be 4k short. So I used 14 there and Rejuve potioned twice. As you could see, I ended up with 7 or 8 first strikes left over, which again is a waste. It means I've spent, you know, if you do the maths, it means I've basically got 2 or 3 submarines that I didn't need. But it's okay. I mean, I know that's 30k, potentially a bit more lost, but we're absolutely fine on farming, okay? Now for tier 4, I was brave. I decided to go for the engineer paragon. I do not like him whatsoever, but we did it. So make sure to get him down on round 95 or 96 so you can place his little sentries right at the start if you're going for this method. I do want to make a little comment as well. Defending from round 60 to 80 is a nightmare, okay? It's an absolute nightmare. So I'd recommend having some mob assassins down until like round 70, and then once you've got enough money for farms, invest some extra money into a bottom path plane just to make life easy, because I lost a total of 2 seconds penalty here, and it was always due to round bloody 75 every single time. Okay, so you're going to sell the first sentry, you're going to place down another one, then I glue stormed and counted to 3, and then sold the engineer, and then that insta-killed it, pretty much. Okay, so let me just repeat that. You sell one of the sentry turrets, place down another in its, you know, at the start. That'll do 2 bars of health, wait a little bit, and then sell the last one, okay? Sell the full engineer. So it's a bit awkward. And then here's my round 120 where I made a grand mistake. I forgot to use Geraldo's totems to get my paragons to high level. So I have a 42 ace, 41 dart, and 37. Okay, so I messed up big time here. This is an abysmal tier 5. So what we're going to do is, my thought process was, right, I'm going to use the ace's ability to do the first bar, which was almost a bit redundant. Then I'm going to try and submarine first strike it to get the second bar, and then I was hoping the engineer and maybe even use the plane again for the last, and I timed it horrifically wrong. I would recommend getting loads of snipers down, actually. If you've got loads of 204 snipers set on strong, that's very good. Okay, so as you can see, when I did the engineer there, the big mistake was that there was only a tiny bit of health left for the skull. So I ended up just basically wasting it, which is a shame. And then you're at this point where you've killed him and it's still, the clock still keeps ticking for like an extra 8 seconds. You're like, gosh, I really wanted under 1 minute 30, but we've got 1 minute 30.31, I believe. Yep. Okay. And on the leaderboard, we are 25th and we've actually beaten Punji. So this is what I did. This is roughly how the top players do it. They just perfect it. Okay. They just absolutely have a strategy like this and then maximize it. So I hope it helped, and I'll see you guys soon.